I'm out with West Houston Studios, and today we're taking over to Hippie Lo's studio.
What up? Thank you for coming out.
Yes,
I know
sir.
it was a little bit of a drive, but always worth coming out here.
Nah, I appreciate the hospitality, bro. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then it's nice to catch up with the homies. For everybody who watched the last episode, we kind of went in on artists. We're going to try not to do that this time. So, full disclosure, we're going to try to talk nothing but positive stuff. But we're also going to do something different. Normally in the podcast, I kind of been having questions and going off of that. So they were going to freestyle it. And, I may cut some stuff, I may not. So I'm opening it up to you, bro. What do you want to talk about first?
Man, I don't know. We've had some pretty heavy discussions today already. They've been some things, I guess, we could talk about. I know we weren't going to bash on artists, but what if we could talk about, some of the things like an artist should or could be doing to get ready for the next level, as far as if a label comes around, because there's been a lot of label talk, and a lot of it comes down to what is an artist going to do to continuously work to grow for a label to say, yeah, here's some money.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great one, actually, man. So let's talk about starting out, right? For people at home, because, now we have a lot of artists, right? It's overly saturated with artists, and
The world.
everybody's moving. So let's say somebody's at home right now, man. They just decided, hey, I'm start doing music, whatever. What would be your first couple steps? Like, hey, you should do this, that, and the other to get started.
A lot of research, right? You gotta, let's say you have no knowledge at all. The first step, research for sure. What is the first steps for an artist? Make a song, right? It starts with the song, got to build around it. What are you going to do to build around it? What routes do you go? That's kind of like the question, right? That everybody's kind of juggling in the air. Like, what is it to get out of this overly saturated pool to stand alone, especially when you're starting from the ground up? Do you have to be young? I don't know. Do you have to... I don't know.
Well, full disclosure, man. I'm in my 30s. You're in your 30s, right?
Fact,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're in our 30s, and we're still pushing. So first things first is you need perseverance. You need to be able to come in and not get discouraged right off the top. So like you said, come up with a song. And what people are doing right now, let's be honest about it. They're looking for instrumentals on YouTube or BeatStars. So if you're starting out, that'd probably be a good place to start to find some inspiration. Write your song and either record it on BandLab or
Get better at becoming a songwriter. That's a lot of the most discouraging part is
practicing the penmanship.
songwriting is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's made to look easy when it's done so greatly by the greats, but the greats practice their entire life to be this good and continue to grow. So, the first 5 to 10 songs you write might be tough, but after that, you just grow, like you said, some penmanship. You learn how to the pockets, the flows, count your syllables. You start learning how to piece together a song so that it just flows from one to the end.
And you bring up a good point, man. Like 10 songs is, I feel like, enough reps for you to kind of like find a sound that you kind of like. Yeah. Or like you said, figure out like, hey, I'm falling off and the cadences here, or this and that could be better. So like I said, I think 10 songs is definitely a good amount of songs when you're first starting out to kind of piece together.
And not be getting overly frustrated about when you're hearing them back, just taking them completely as learning curves, like this is where I can, this is what I can't do, and then from there, I think you start to grow this inner interest that makes you want to build and grow more. Like as we did as engineers and building studios, this whole lab was built off of just the complete fact that after I tried to do something and it's starting to work out, you just get this snowball effect of motivation, and then just, whoa, you're feeling good about it, and you're just learning more. I think that's what's going to drive an artist to go, hey, okay, my song's good. Now what do I do with it? And then, bam, there's your next set of questions. What do you do with it? Where do you go with this song? Do you know what I mean? What parts of a team are crucial for an artist to have? Is it, a manager? Is it, something has to happen for the artist after you make a song.
And back to the, somebody starting out, right? We told them to get 10 songs. Now they got 10 songs, and you're saying, where do we take it? Back in the day, it'd be like we would press down CDs and we would show them to the homies, right? Now it's easier for you guys, so y'all can really just post y'all songs on YouTube or on SoundCloud. A lot of the artists that we know are probably on SoundCloud, and start putting your music out and see what your close friends and relatives, what their feedback is, so you can continue growing as an artist as well. Because like the management and all that, yeah, that'll come into play. I don't know, how long would you say an artist should be putting in work before they're like, hey, let me see about putting a team together?
I think as soon as you make a song, you should have an idea in your brain who you would trust as a manager that also shows, it's not just a random like, oh, my cousin's gonna be my manager. Like, no, like this obviously is somebody that is put themselves in your head and made you go, they mentioned being a manager, they just were starting out. I'm just starting out. Those are great ways to, find somebody that you can start with, build camaraderie, and y'all both know, like, if I make you money, you make me money, I make you money, you make me money, we build, we grow, And an artist, like I said, I think an artist has to do everything a label does for them before a label ever goes, yeah, you come along, you know what I mean? So I think it's very important to kind of get a team going when you're first getting going too, because now everybody just kind of has this sense of, we both need to learn. We're gonna really lean on each other right now, instead of like, you find somebody seasoned and they'll look at you maybe like, you still got growing to do. You're not, ready for me to push you like that, or, something like that. If you're just starting out, find somebody else that's just starting out with managers. Go to your local colleges where they, people are going to college for this stuff.
Yeah, somebody who's aspiring to be that.
Yeah, somebody will definitely say, hey, I'm learning about it right now. Let's figure it out.
Man, and that's a really good point, because nowadays, like exactly what he said, like certain artists are trying to get with certain managers, or certain managers are trying to get with certain artists, and they both may be looking at each other like, you're not as experienced as me, vice versa. Whereas finding somebody who's very interested in doing, just that, managing artists, or just being any kind of management, period, they could be taking a chance with you the same way that you're taking a chance with them from the get-go. So yeah, if you're serious right off the jump and you know that, because there's differences, there's somebody who just woke up and was like, screw it, I'm gonna make some music. And there's somebody who's probably been thinking about this for a minute. Maybe they have lyrics written down. If you're that person and you're probably gonna take it serious right off the jump, then probably talk to some people beforehand and see if anybody's down to get in the mud with you. Because if so, then
that
sky's the limit.
A whole lot easier from the start, for sure.
Minimum a producer and an engineer, photographer maybe.
For sure, and a lot of cats come with a guy that is both producer and engineer, and totally cool. That happens a lot, so that's obviously a win-win in some situations, depending on their mixes. But yeah, and I just think it's 90% business, 10% skill. And if you can just hit the ground running with some business works, put your music into some places, that gives it a chance to grow, that's going to be, like, if you got two of you doing it, that's amazing, But make sure you're just not both looking for the same thing behind the same door. Kind of just make sure you got a area to focus on.
Somebody's got to delegate.
100%.
Somebody's got to delegate, and maybe that's where a manager comes in. Maybe the manager delegates you as an artist and them as a producer engineer, or you maybe do the whole thing, right? Because artists have to do the whole thing sometimes.
Do you think sometimes that there are some negatives when a manager tries to tell the artist, hey, this is the route you need to go, and the artist says, but I don't feel that route, I need to go this route? And do you think like there's some negative behind that, or do you think it should be maybe follow the flow of the artist, or does an artist need a manager to tell them like maybe you can do that, but this might be the route to go for business? Like what do
And
you think?
that's a great question, bro. Man, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, because having the wrong manager that is really directing and controlling and telling you what kind of music to make can definitely mess up the vibe.
Yeah,
If it's not you, there's been a handful of artists. I'm not gonna name anybody, you know what I mean, but that you've seen under different management making TikTok music, and then switching management, trying to make some more real music, and then switching management again and switching to more like dancing music. Like, I don't know, just throwing examples out there, right? But I feel like if you as an artist know like, hey, this is the kind of music that I want to make, like, you gotta, I don't know how to say it, but you gotta feel it within yourself. At least that's what I believe. If it goes against the things that you believe in, if it goes against what you're trying to set as your personal brand, then maybe, don't be forced into doing it. But I mean, if you signed a contract, then I'm sorry, you're kind of screwed at that point. But if you know that you're not willing to compromise, changing your sound a little bit, maybe really think about before you sign with somebody, or assigning somebody as your manager who's gonna be real hard on, hey, this is what we need to do. But artists do need structure too, though. So it's like at the end of the day, like,
You can't
it's like a
just let
give
them
and
run buck wild, because
yeah,
not
give and
every
take.
idea is cool for
Yeah.
everybody, you know?
So it's a give and take. You know what I mean? Like if the artist and the manager can collaborate, or the whole team can collaborate
Right.
on what the sound is, then I think they can play with the different sounds. Because then now it's just like we're being creative.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, because yeah, you have some managers who are completely in it and say, you came to me, we're gonna do it like that. They give the structure.
Yeah, like this is the blueprint already. We've seen this succeed.
Right. And then I guess at that point in time, you just got to look at past experiments from those agencies or those managers and just kind of see, is that the vibe you're going for? Trying to be dancing in a peacock suit on TikTok? What's up?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, and I don't think I would ask anybody to do that either. Like if hypothetically speaking, we were on the management side.
I got some wild artists that want to do that.
There's the ones that would let somebody tickle their booty hole for
Maybe
the
their
right
feet.
penny.
Maybe their feet.
But no, yeah, that's the direction I would take as far as that goes. But that was a great question, bro, because you see that more now than at any other time, I think, because everybody at the end of the day is focused on the dollar. You know what I mean?
And it's important to keep in mind, it's a team sport when you're doing it like that. If you're both invested, it's a team sport. We got to figure out how to run offense and defense to win games together. And I think it's a different world when we're out there in the management world, because you come across these managers who want to be paid up front but have no experience about it. My mindset is like, if you want to make money as a manager, make the artist money, because you get the splits, right? You're getting percentages off of that. So it's like, hey, if I get you a bag for 10 grand, you show up and get the bag and I get busted off, that right there is just gonna create camaraderie, and it's just gonna create like that, because it's very hard to depend on others. It's very hard to sign somebody up for something and that somebody show up and give it their all, like you gave it your all to be in that position. So, when you start to capitalize on these wins and you start to snowball effect, I think as an artist you start to grow and grow, and that's what's really starting to happen. Step one is research. Through all this, it's still research. You're never gonna enter a room where you don't need to learn.
Yeah.
And that's a very important key, I think.
Now you bring up a good point as far as like them now marketing themselves, and then the person behind them put in the marketing spend behind them. Everything has to be designed a specific way, because you wanted to create a return on your investment. Now, let's say the artist that we were talking about, because we were saying get started, record like 10 songs, then start releasing it. Now we're talking about managements and all that. So let's say somebody is signing to a manager. Do you believe that they have to put the whole marketing spend, or do you believe like if somebody's coming up, both the artist and the management have to be putting in to their marketing?
Maybe it's just a conversation, right? Like maybe it's what you're doing obviously worked because I'm here, and what they're, and vice versa. So it's like maybe, something's working in both rooms. You just got to figure out how to make that where, like, work together. Again, it could also be, a business manager that completely says, I'm invested, and they have all the money for the artist, and it's almost like that. And it's just like I said, a conversation, contracts, and and a lot of being an artist. The hard part for artists is all the contracts and business, because that's not fun.
Yeah, like you said earlier, 90% business, 10% talent.
And so having a business manager to help out with all that, amazing. And in fact, I would go as far as saying the next step would be to find a music lawyer. A music lawyer can not only can they help you in certain instances, because if you think about it, they work with the music industry, right? So they have a bug come to them when things are needed. So let's say you're sitting there with your music lawyer, and your music lawyer's like, it might not work out in this deal, but I have a client that has a deal like this, and your artist might fit right along with this situation. Just a few phone calls, boom, boom, boom. So a music lawyer, I think, is almost as detrimental as a business manager. But I would say getting a business manager first, so that there's two people on the ground working, because music lawyers are not cheap. Really good ones at that too. So,
how many of you guys have a music lawyer?
Or thought about it.
Yeah, or even thought about it.
Because all them YouTube beats are going to come back for you. Every single one of those YouTube beats has some kind of sample in it. It has something in there that's probably one of the main reasons you're not making a lot of money off streams.
And if you didn't even release it, then you're getting screwed even worse.
So, yeah, music lawyer is a crazy up in the game. Because again, like I said, music lawyers know everything about the music industry, from the bottom, from the floor contracts to your top CEOs of music labels. They deal with everything. So it's kind of cool to have somebody like that in your pocket.
I was just talking about how many of y'all have one. I don't have one either, so
No.
That's some advice that we could probably take ourselves.
I guess, I mean...
Yeah. No, but again, so there's levels, you know what I mean? And all of these things require, like he just said, the music entertainment lawyer is probably expensive. So it requires for you to make investments. And as an artist coming up, you probably are going to allocate majority of your investments into production, into recording, mixing, stuff like that.
Marketing. So you already got a lot of money out there.
So you need at least a couple hundred to get started. I'm about to name this video. All you need is $300 to get started in the music industry. You know what I'm talking about? They be doing that in the titles.
Right.
I'm gonna use that as a clip.
Watch my Udemy class.
Look, with $300, this is what you do. You get you a beat lease for $50, or you find those that do buy two, get one free, so you get 3 beats for $100 maybe. And then $100 on studio time, because that's three beats. Let's say you write to 2 of them, so you make 2 songs. So you get like a 3 to 4 hour studio session, and then you record that, and you take whatever money you have left over, and you use that for your marketing for the song. $300.
$300 a song right now might sound a lot to you, but later in the future, if you make it, songs typically cost anywhere from like let's talk about like a main hit song that they want to put, a Big X the Plug song they want to put out next winter, right? It's already recorded right now.
Next winter, right? Like next winter, not this winter.
Yeah, like it's already recorded, it's ready to go, but what they're doing is they're working out deals, marketing, so this song just went from probably already, let's say the beat was probably going to be in the 10K range, because it's not YouTube or anything like that. It's going to be exclusive producers at that point. Studio time, probably, you're looking at $15,000 with the beat and studio time. And then on top of that, your label is going to throw in another $100K on marketing, another $100K on a music video. This song just turned into $215,000, like that, a 3.5 minute song. You know what I mean? So $300 for a song right now doesn't sound like, it sounds like a lot to, people who work every day. They're not Big X the Plug, but it's just that pure investment of, are you gonna be here? You know what I mean? Like,
and you gotta think about it like that too. Like, do you really value your music like that? Because if so, then it will not feel like anything to you because you believe that it's worth more, and it's probably going to generate you more. It may or may not, but in the meantime, like you got to really believe that, and if you do, then this is the $300 plan. Head
It really does take a lot of belief, you know. I mean, this entire room that we're in right now, just solid belief.
So tell them about that now, because now we're we kind of laid out what you need. Most of these people, most of you artists that are starting out right now, probably don't
That's
have
a
equipment.
fresh artist stuff, right?
Yeah. So fresh artists, like, hey, we recorded a couple things on my phone. Now I'm about to like level up because obviously I see the studio here, and I could come to you, or the other route that you guys can take is to do what we did, go down the rabbit hole, teach yourself some stuff, and kind of start getting you some equipment. So again, people look at these studios, bro, and they think that they need everything that they see in here.
No, everything
What do they
that
need?
they see here took up to this day to continue to build. You know what I mean? I can remember, just having these red things and a solo Scarlet, and thinking, oh yeah, I'm making it. And that's the drive that you got to have. Like, even when I had the minimalist in like the least amount I could have, it was motivating to me. You got to find everything is motivated. A lot of artists, they come here and they're like, man, I wish I had a recording setup like this. I mean, I wish you did too. So you could record all day.
Send me the mixes.
Send me the mixes. Like that's super cool. But to get something like this was, it's taken some time, some dedication. A lot of good times, though.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Facts. Yeah, you don't think some of these things fell off the wall putting it up, scrape you, hit you? So.
But we're here. So again, like what he just said, a basic interface, a microphone, some headphones, get you started. Now, again, you're an artist that started out, obviously you're gonna need Instagram. I'm 50-50 on you needing TikTok. If you make the kind of music that you think you can make, like little TikTok videos, I think you should do it. If you feel like it's kind of forced, then I'm 50-50. You can do it or not.
TikTok to me is so much work. I feel like on a TikTok platform, you have to post something every day, right?
I think multiple times a day, it feels like.
You know what I mean? Like, but on Instagram, I feel like Instagram doesn't you don't go to Instagram to look for all video type content for your artist. TikTok, though, is just like you have to have so much content coming in and out. So, yeah, TikTok's, if you're really ready to take upon it, you can utilize it very well. I've been having an artist reach out talking about growing his TikTok left and right, and he's doing a great job doing it, but he's working a lot. And you can tell. It's paying off, though.
And again, you're going to be doing all that work yourself, all the editing and stuff, too, so you got to determine how much content you're able to output, whether that's songs, photos, videos, everything, because like you said, it can be exhausting. It could burn you out. But I think we can switch topics. Let's see. We're talking about starting artists. We got to the point what they need, bare minimum. I think that's enough advice for you guys. So we're gonna move on to somebody else.
Yeah, y'all need no more.
All right. So what else are we on, bro?
Some of the things we've had some small chats about. Music publishing. That's
you were talking heavily about the music publishing, bro. So explain to artists what calls your attention to music publishing, bro. Because not too many people tell me like, hey, this is something that I want to focus on.
What makes me read books and study music publishing is the fact that you're creating music for the scene, for a moment, you're trying to get music placed with a video, whether you're creating a dog commercial for your local company or you're creating a Sonic song for the next Sonic movie and Sonic needs like a gotta go fast song type stuff or something, like my thing that brought me to it was I love the pairing of music and visual, and you have no other feeling in your body but to feel every bit of emotion that's meant to make you feel in that moment, and it's because the perfect matchup.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, but I just think that it goes to show true artists who believe in themselves and want to see some money come back, they can see money come back in that form because you you're not really gonna make a lot of money off streaming these days unless you're major putting numbers out there. But you know, a song that doesn't mean much to you might mean $10,000 to Netflix. You know, it's just about getting yourself in the right position. There's a lot of ways to, you know, forums of like who needs what, or there's a whole route for all of that. And
My man said hit Reddit. Hit Reddit.
there's a whole route for that, and just it's just a way to, you know, get paid, and it's a lot of terminology, a lot of paperwork and stuff, and it could be something that scares people off instantly. But you know, me, I find like such a passion in making that happen that I just got to learn about it. That's easy stuff, real quick. You know, it's just words.
And it's really just digging and looking for those opportunities.
100%.
But let's say an artist is, because you know, obviously whenever an artist starts out, man, and they're not thinking about these things. I didn't start thinking about like placement opportunities until, I don't know, damn near 14, 15 years in, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking about like within the last few years. And even then I haven't dived into it probably the way that you have dived into it. So what would you say is like, should artists who now are looking into that, let's say they find some potential opportunities, should they focus on making music to that? Or would you say like, just make some songs, and if you happen to have something that matches to this, send it in? What would you say?
Right? Do a little bit of both. Like, let's say you already have, I mean, you know, when 50 Cent dropped In the Club, you know, it wasn't, you know, 10, 15, 20 years later, we're still using that song in movies, you know? Like when AC/DC dropped,
and that's some bread too.
Back in Black, back in the 70s, they didn't know Iron Man was gonna wanna use it, you know? So it could be a little bit of both. I think that there's a world of producers, songwriters, and studios that are involved in directly only making, you know, jingles or making, you know, songs. This is for producers too, because a lot of like, what do you see on crime show TVs is a lot of music in the background is just pianos and it's opera and it's just, you know, just a lot of stuff like that. So, you know, there's just a whole world where like, you know, eventually I'd like to be the guy that somebody calls and goes, hey, we have this movie coming out, this scene, we want to know if you have somebody that fits the role to play a song that does this. And then bam, we make the call, we put it together. That's, you know, initially the route that I'm going in, because again, I love music so much, but I want to get paid, you know, and it's like, why not mix the best of both worlds, you know? And I get to help out artists who, let's say this artist had nothing going for them before, you know, they just were, you know, just barely making it, barely getting into the studio, but like they just came across my mind and I go, oh shit, this guy might fit the role for that. That 30 seconds changes their whole mind around. They get to become a better artist off that, and then eventually create songs on their own that pop in their own world. And you know, or they might just be somebody that comes back around and we're in that community of, hey, I'm using you for this song, I'll call you, you know, something like that.
At that point, basically, like if they freelanced for you,
right?
As an artist.
Because if you think about it as an artist, when you make a song, you think about having to pay for it, right? Like the $300 deal. Imagine now, a company pays you $300 to come to the studio to make the song. That's so much more motivating to make a song, right?
Correct.
So, in a sense, you could go out, make a song, try to sell it and stream it and get your money back through distro and all the others. Or you could go out, make a song, and potentially just try to sell it. You know, you paid the $300.
Shop it around.
Yeah, you paid the $300 for the song. Now go shop it, sell it for $500, $600 somewhere.
That's interesting. Because you also, one way that I've seen people do that is where they sell songs that are unfinished. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen
like
that to artists. Yeah. Like they sell
okay.
collabs.
Yeah.
So that's like that's a different way of thinking about it too. Like you're damn near selling a collab, but you're selling, you might be selling it to somebody where they're gonna take over the song and perform it themselves.
Hey, look, a bald fat man wrote Umbrella by Rihanna, and she made it sexy. So
I think you mentioned that same one in the last one.
Yeah, no, I will go to
he's
that
like
every
that's
time,
my go-to.
that is it's mind blowing, because you think about all these hot pop songs and you're like, dang, Dua Lipa made that shit look so good. And then you find out some fucking greaseball wrote that thing.
Fucking
and you're
PDF,
like,
low key.
and it's like, damn. But yeah, I mean, music in a world where artists can be paid, and like, the music industry is making more money than it has ever in its entire life. And it's hard to think about it like that because everything is digitally streaming. But back in the day, we bought CDs, and the age gap for that would be like 15 to like maybe 45, 60. You have a consistent buying of CDs. Now people as early as 6 years old have a phone, have
And are
Apple
streaming on their
Music
phone.
subscription on it. That's $12 a month. That's $84 a year from a 6-year-old. Of course, their parents are paying for it,
Yeah.
which means there's 5 other people on a plan, which now means 5 other people in the house from the age of 6 to 45, maybe even older because they have older siblings or older in-laws or parents living with them. Like maybe, there's so much more money now, and it's up for grabs. You just got to go get it.
Man, but like you said, everybody, like the music industry in itself might be generating money right now, man. But then right now, the artists are kind of at the bottom of the whole thing. So it's like you could do that.
But
you
they
could
always have been, I feel.
Yeah. So you could, 2025, hit it back with the guerrilla marketing, man. Get you some USBs and sell them from person to person.
That's right. Make you some money. Get back into the merch game.
Get you some shirts.
It's a digital world, you can use that to your advantage easily. I think though that like an artist's life, if you can just perform well, I think you'll get paid. You'll be, I don't know. I think I'd rather take a deal that gets me out of like a HEB bagging job or something.
It is. Hey man, I had a homie told me that they was paying $18 at HEB, bro. $18 an hour to bag some groceries. Fuck it, I ain't tripping. No, but that nothing to do with the fucking conversation. No, but you mentioned HEB. Fucking $18 an hour seems crazy for HEB, but man, so outside of music, bro, you know what I mean? Because we're talking about the music, we're talking about the publishing. What else are you getting into yourself, or what else have you been interested about recently?
Outside of this little room here, just enjoying life. Honestly, I've got a family here, and we got a couple of side hustles because we're a family that likes to make money. Like I think we'll always finally do some things. I sell a bunch of things as far as sports memorabilia, merchandise. I mean, I showed you a tub of CDs. I mean, people still buy CDs, which is another thing.
Yeah, that was one that he caught me off guard with. He said he had CDs that are selling.
And I just sell them. Every day a CD will sell, and I bag it up. And I just do things that I love in life. I love to run the studio. It's so cool to go through this box of CDs and be like, I remember this, and box it up, send it. I always write a little note, too, like in everything that I send off, because I send a packing slip. I write a little note, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Or if I send some stuff that goes back to my hometown in West Texas, I'll write some West Texas shit on there that only they'll know, and stuff like that. So
that's dope. You should get like little cards with the QR code.
I have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I put them in every package with it.
Well, what is it route to, bro? You should route it to your playlist, dog.
I need to route it to my playlist and all my socials, because right now it just routes right back to the eBay store because I like making money.
Man, do both, send both.
Shameless
plug yourself.
That's why, you know what? I need to start getting because I create that artist that playlist that, if I've recorded your song, if I've recorded, mixed or mastered it, or if I just mixed it, or if I mastered it, or if it's on a playlist, and it's over I think 15, 16 hours of music. So I need to just start plugging that in there. That'd be hype. I'm almost out of business cards. I gotta make some new ones anyway. So. That's good.
Easy re-up right there. Add that to the list. And
if anybody wants to give me their CDs, people are like, fuck off, dude.
He finds them on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. So send them his way.
So hide your kids.
It's almost like I should cut that one off. We should keep that. Yeah. But it's okay. It's one thing telling people what to do and then them doing it. So
dude, you can lead them to water all day.
The game is there. The game is laid out. There's money to be made in many
Outcomes look
different
like
ways.
this. Outcomes look exactly like this. You know, I remember going to big studios when I first started and thinking, man, this is what I'm gonna do it for. And you know, even here, I'm still like, man. I mean, I talk to you like, if it wasn't for me getting that laptop, there's no telling what, you know, saving for that laptop. There's no telling what updates I'd have done to this place. You know, as far as microphones, speakers. Like, bro, I'm ready for all the upgrades. But another issue that I have is what I had, like basic Yamahas, yeah, they're perfect for the room.
Of course,
you know,
of
so
course,
they
yeah,
match
yeah.
this room. You
Yeah.
know, if I go any bigger, I might be
Yeah, 'cause
doing.
these are the fives, right?
Yeah, I might be
Yeah.
doing things to the room then that doesn't need to be happening because of the big, you know.
Exactly.
And I mean,
Because you got the sub
I
too,
got the
so it's
sub,
like
and
you don't need it.
Another thing with the sub, you, since these already don't need to be too loud, your sub doesn't need to be anywhere louder than these. So it's like you hardly hear the sub ever unless we like crank it. But yeah, it's there, and you know, like I said, I think it's just a perfect setup for a perfect room. If like that back wall wasn't there connected with the booth,
Yeah, that would
then
make more
yeah, I
sense.
mean it'd be a little bit different, but yeah, I'm very proud of every little piece of this room. You know, I used to have all sorts of knickknacks and shit everywhere.
I mean, you
and-
still have a good amount of knickknacks, bro. Your studio room is a lot more decorated than mine, I feel like.
I used to have just nasty stuff all over there, and I was like, you know what? This isn't like somebody's bedroom. This is a personal place. So I don't really have much personal knickknacks up anymore.
I got you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
do have
yeah.
decoration.
Yeah, I've got the cool. I got the picture with Mac Miller over there. That's fly. This painting on this back wall was when I first moved here. I met this guy in the Woodlands Park. Dower 420 was his name, and he had some paintings of the Woodlands. He had some paintings of Houston, and I was just like, "That's fucking immaculate, dude. How much? If I gave you a picture of West Texas, can you paint that for me?" And I said, and I want Houston in the background because it's so flat out there. You could see Houston from West Texas. And dude, he did his thing on that. And I was like, yeah, I got to keep that up. So that's dope.
No, I rock with that. I didn't even notice Houston all the way in the...
In the background over
Yeah.
there? Yeah. And that's an actual intersection in West Texas on Highway 301, I believe. I can't remember the other highway. It's been 10
yeah,
years.
I rock with it though. That's dope.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, you know, I like this little setup. But yeah, I've been busting ass trying to get a laptop, trying to get out to other studios. I think, you know, we were chatting earlier about getting out and working at your studio some nights. So, you know, everybody kind of peeps some upcoming things that could possibly be happening. And
I just donate to the GoFundMe that is at the bottom of this video.
it'll say, buy me a coffee.
Nah, but let's get it. Cause yeah, it's good to be mobile. So
Yeah.
you limit yourself a little less. You did mention that there was a good amount of people that do want to work with you, but they just don't want to make the drive. So we should see some kind of growth once you start being able to be mobile.
100%. And just you know, what's crazy is there's kids that are like, nah, I'm coming out there. You know, this place is their home, and they'll make that drive whenever, and I'm forever grateful for that. But there is a good amount of people that, you know, the work doesn't get to happen because of, you know, and I understand. Why would you drive an hour when you can go 10 minutes down the road and do the same thing?
It's not the same. And
It's
I'm gonna cut you off right
I
there,
was
bro.
about
It
to
is
say.
not the same.
I was about to
It is
say.
not the same. Yes, a lot of you guys know people that maybe charge you 15 an hour, 20, 25 an
And
hour.
it sounds like it.
And it sounds like not even a demo. I wouldn't even call it a demo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably just recorded it. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Like again, back to there's levels. Once you get to the point that you know that quality or the final product is a lot more important than let me just go record, then that's when you look for somebody like Hippie, somebody like me. And you know,
A
even
good
now...
ear has no zip code.
And even now, like, I want to say, rate-wise, we're still a lot more competitive
Oh, yeah.
than people who we're actually competing with.
For the quality that we give, 100%. You
So
know,
going up the street, it might be 5 minutes from your house, but those 40 minutes you spend driving over here would have been worth it.
Oh, every time. And you know, I just had an artist just move into town, and I had been working with them for a few years, and finally they moved to town, and they're like, I'm coming, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, can't wait. gonna be hyped to see you work again. And then I saw him at another studio, and I was like, suspicious. But again, I really don't give a damn. At that point in time. But guess who was back the next day? Because, well, everything was terrible. From the hospitality of the studio, the engineer was late 40 minutes.
See, that was the 40 minutes you could have driven over here, my boy.
Yeah, boom, nailed it right there. And then on top of that, the engineer still cut the studio off at the time it was, scheduled to cut off instead of extending it 40 minutes. And then he let all these people in the studio with this artist that didn't even know the artist. And then on top of that, it's just, I asked, why'd you go? You know, if it was that bad, and it was a free session.
Oh, well, then that's why. Like,
And,
you can't complain on that either.
Nah.
Because, back to the homies who are probably starting studios or wanting to start studios, that's the type of stuff you have to do. You know what I mean?
I've been there.
To get your experience and all that. But if you're an artist and you're getting free sessions and you're complaining after,
if you're a seasoned artist,
if you're a seasoned artist, even more, you should not be going to no free sessions.
You should not be going to no free sessions, unless it's somebody like me or Ali being like, "Yo, I'm trying to put you on. Come to this session."
And if they're like us, and you heard of them through somebody, so there's some kind of credibility there, then those free sessions, yes, check them out.
And no hate at all to giving a free session, to doing it. You've got to grow. You've got to grow into the engineers out there that are just starting.
I did it for years, man. I did it for minimum 7 years.
Oh my God! And I remember a lot of times getting a call back from other engineers, and I'd be pissed off, was mine not good enough? And they're like, no, it's,
I know, at one point I did feel some kind of way too. In the beginning,
it's part of the growing pains, because you want to be so good that you can be with these other individuals. There's still individuals in the city of Houston that I still look up to as an engineer. if I could get into the room and hang out with them, I'm all ears, because there's still levels that I need to grow. There's still lessons that I take. I set aside, every Wednesday I set aside at least 2-3 hours to just study, to grow, to learn.
Some research.
Yeah, and it just takes questioning yourself. Even me, I said, what can I do with my masters to help them out, to make them better? And I did my research, and within half a day, I blew my own mixes out of the water, just because I said, I've got to get something going and change some things up, get a new flow. Things are getting a little boring. Things are getting too repetitive. Yeah. And it just...
it's damn near too easy. Second nature. You're like, nah, I need to change something up.
And it'd
be the smallest thing sometimes.
It's just a bunch of EQing that changed the complete outcome of how my products are sounding now. And it's just something that I can hang my hat on even more. And that's what happens as you continue to grow as a young engineer or as a young producer. You continue to find things to hang your hat on, and you just keep your head up so you can see what God's doing for you, because that's the only way you're going to make it.
Oh, yeah. That's some good advice, bro. We were just talking about the engineers doing some free sessions, the artist going to the free sessions, the artist feeling like it's the same down the street and it's not. Okay, I'm backtracking.
No.
That was the root of that conversation, the artist.
It even goes, engineers that are out there giving cheap sessions with mix and masters included. That's part of the game. But you've got to realize,
a couple of revisions in the very beginning.
Yeah, that's part of the game. But you got to
How many revisions
realize,
you doing now, bro?
Me, honestly, if the song's not finished up after 5 revisions, you're just gonna have to come back. If it should not take that many revisions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm doing max 2, bro.
Yeah, the first 2 revisions, the artist is gonna come with their notes. I always take,
in person.
When it comes for revisions, I take 2 days. If my session was Sunday, I wait until today to listen to that session songs. So I have no idea
fresh
of anything, and then I can take notes of everything. And then I get the artist notes, because they take notes as soon as they leave the door.
Of course.
And so I take all the notes, combine them. Revisions 2 should do it. Revisions 3, 4, and 5 will almost always guarantee do it. After that point, maybe, you should come in and re-record some of the parts that you're having issues with. Or maybe, sometimes it's not what can the engineer do to make the song better? Like, hey man, spice up that middle section. Hey man, maybe you need to come add some layers. Maybe come,
Yeah.
maybe it's not completely on me to make your song the best. And
Depends on how much
sometimes-
they give you sometimes too, because
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
don't give
yeah.
you enough, I mean, now they have AI too, bro, and different things that you could do to like create different vocal harmonies, which last resort, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that shit, but that's last resort. I prefer, like you said, come in and give me some fresh vocals.
Yeah, because as an engineer,
Yeah.
what happens in my brain when I use these other things
It feels
is
watered down, right?
there's still a small amount of phase happening because
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a different take. It's two waveforms canceling each other out. Whether you're AI pitching them regardless, it gives it, because when you pitch up, pitch down, it kind of takes those waveforms, makes them a little, but it's still got that phase effect
Mm-hmm.
to it. And to me, that's not how you make like a chorus or, something big
Yeah,
that you
full.
want to sound. So it's like if you want something like that, sometimes it's up to the artist to have to, oh man, that sucks. I should have, it does suck because you're spending money to come to the studio, but do this. Come to the studio with 2 more songs ready to record, mix, and master, maybe, and
revision quick.
just knock out your revision, and bam. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to redo the whole song or something. So there's a lot of ways I think artists can utilize their studio time a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a great topic we could talk about right now. Finding ways for artists to utilize studio time because it is their time. 3 hours is very important. You get here at 2:30 and your session starts at 2:30. Man, we're about to do what, 20 minutes of setup, 30 minutes of warm up and setup, and there goes 2.5 hours. That's 30 minutes that could have been spent on a quick mix or something, And so a lot of things are just keeping in mind what you want to utilize with your time. Send your beats ahead. I'm the type of engineer.
I load it up beforehand.
You send them to me.
Yeah.
You send me 50 beats. I don't give a fuck. You can send how many ever you want. I'll have it
50's
ready.
excessive, y'all.
Dude, I will have that shit ready for. Oh no, I've seen it.
Hey, which one of these 50 beats do you want to go over? Already has a session loaded up. Nah, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll create I'll create my session. I'll name it. What's today? Today's the 16th.
Right.
I'll name it September 16th session, and then let's say you send me 5 beats within that folder. I save 5 different projects with the name of
I'll show you
the
what
beats.
I do right here. I have it. I always save each recording. I'll be like, yesterday's artist was Yo Boy C Dub, so the file name will say Yo Boy C Dub's recording, right? And it will pull up. Let's see. And I'll do all the beats in one session. So like, if you see over here, all the beats. This is one song, this is one song, this is one song, this is one song, this is one song. Because we record first, right? Unless he wants to mix. But either way, I still have a recording session. And then down here, I just have like a template. So if like he's like, hey, next beat, but I don't have that beat, he's like, I'm sending it to you now. I just copy, I copy those and I make it its own. And then, and then we record. So all the beats are in one session. And then when it's ready to mix, I just bounce them out to their own session. So I don't do any mixing other than light mixing in here, like small automations where I know they're gonna be later or cleaning up breaths and
So then you start a whole new session.
Yeah,
with
for
all
just
the
the
files
mix
from
and the
here.
master, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like I said, I'm utilizing time. So if the artist is like, halfway through a song, let's do that other beat.
Yeah, you don't want to take
I'm not
3-5
sitting there,
minutes loading it up.
Loading the beat, loading a Pro Tools session, creating a session, and then you got like 20 folders of songs that 10 of them they don't even have nothing on because they didn't do anything to that. So yeah, I've got one session, and they all for recording only, and they'll all be in there. So like you see, we'll unhide all these. These are all
La verga.
previously recorded songs, or again, songs he didn't record to, and then we skipped over to just, it's just boom. It's just having things ready. So it's just working quick and helping the artist stay on flow. Because the recording is the bread and butter to making a good mix and master. You need to get a good performance. You don't need the artist sitting there going, "Oh, motherfucker's taking forever."
You're right.
I've got the whole keyboard. Everything is set up to my own quick commands. Like I went and did the
changed
them up to where I can maneuver. I know what I'm looking for and stuff like that. So, and I think that's what's detrimental about me getting a laptop is because I already work so independent-mindedly within Pro Tools that like it's hard to go into Pro Tools and I'm hitting commands and it's doing the opposite. It's like doing what it originally should have done. You know
Okay,
what
I
mean?
got you. Because you're already working with
Yeah,
your
with my brain path. So, but yeah, artists, showing up 10 minutes early could be even more detrimental.
quick sound check.
I tell every artist that we go through, because I use analog vocal chain, the first 2 takes, we're gonna warm up and we're gonna do vocal levels. And my favorite thing is we'll get started and they'll say 1 bar and be like, all right, let me hear that. And I'm like,
Oof.
no, keep rolling.
Yeah, you gotta
keep
give me like a
rolling.
minimum of 8
keep
bars.
rolling.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, it's just, I think what I've learned most about being an engineer is being quick, savvy, making sure things roll smoothly because time is precious in this game.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, man. Because like as the engineers, like at the level that we're at, and we're valuing time, and we're trying to make sure that they maximize their time. Then if you're not, like whenever you have stalls like that, I'm the person. I'm gonna extend the session a little bit because it took me 15 or 20 minutes to load up, and it was on me.
Yeah.
Whereas I could have had it beforehand.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, especially things like that. Or if hear me out, like there's just a couple last tweaks, and then we can finish up the master, and we're just going
if you're
20
already
over, and
there,
it's like we'll do a little 20 and we'll finish that.
If I'm there, I'm doing the same thing.
But don't be like, hey, well, can we record some more? No, well, let's just get another hour. You know what I mean?
Man, it'd be like the last 10 minutes, man. Like, hey, I got this one. I'd be like, nah. Thank God, recently I had something similar, and it's with one of the dudes that I'm partnering with, who's also kind of like doing his own thing. So it was one of his artists, and he was like, nah, we gotta let get back to his family, bro. We gotta go. It was like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. I was like, nah, bro.
You're just now saying that?
Talking about in the last 10 minutes. He's like, we got 10 more minutes, right? Like, nah, bro. Like low-key, we had already extended like an hour, like between me and him talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
That and another one is come to the studio rolled up. Don't sit on the couch and roll blunts for 30 minutes and then hit the booth. Come rolled up, or come with the homie that's gonna roll for you.
Yeah, get your little Snoop Dogg.
Because I'm gonna tell you, that's one thing that I don't do is if it took you 30 minutes to get on the mic because you were rolling blunts the whole time, that's your 30 minutes. That your beat was playing the whole time. You better have been warming up or doing something that whole 30 minutes.
You better have been warming up, or you better have been wrapping up the lyrics. You better not hit the microphone talking about, I still gotta write some.
Yeah,
you tripping.
That's another thing. If you are an artist that is not as seasoned as most, and there are some artists that can ride the same day and then be in the booth the same day with it. But there's some artists, it's okay to ride it the same day, but do not come to the studio the same day with it, because a lot of artists just get mad at what it sounds like later, and then they got to re-record it later because you figure it out, you clean it up, you chop it up. Do it for 2-3 days, and then be like, all right, just don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket.
Or at least know that that's a reference. You know what I mean? Know that that's a reference, but don't just, like you said, don't throw away the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know you're already working with a tight-ass budget, don't go to the studio or record references all the time,
Some of the artists that I work with, and they make some of the best songs, they come, and we load up a session full of beats, sometimes 50. And sometimes they know the name of each and every one of them.
The 50 is still crazy to me, bro.
But yeah, we'll load them up, and we'll do 3 full hours of just recording. They'll take what they take. They'll come back. They'll either tighten it up in a couple spots. They'll re-record it, and then that usually takes 30 minutes, and then the rest of the time would be up for a mix and master. So. There's plenty of ways to attack a song.
And the more time you give for the mixing and mastering, the more that we can actually, leave with a finished product.
When it comes to my online mixes, I charge a minimum of $80 because I'm going to spend a minimum of 2 hours on it. Whether it's the easiest, most light mix in the world, I'm still going to spend 2 hours on it because I know for 2 hours, I will find things to make a song smoother. And, and you deserve that from me because that's the service that I provide.
That's the level of attention you're giving it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, when I get online mixes who, don't want to pay $80 a song, it's like, well, I understand that, but you got to understand the approach and the appreciation that I'm bringing for your song. So
you're not paying for a certain amount of time or anything. You're paying for my service, my expertise,
you're not
my
paying
ear.
for a product. You're paying for a service is one thing that I've learned in this last week is I will no longer do mixes and then send them and wait for money. You will, like, it's mixes in hand, it's money in hand, and then you get your mixes because you're paying for a service, not a product.
You know, I used to hear a lot from different artists about engineers not sending them their songs and stuff. And like now, like the more and more we do this, the more I'm realizing, you know what? That's probably what
That's
happened.
probably just a whack
They
engineer.
didn't. Well, no, it could be one or two.
Or they
bro.
didn't get paid.
Or they didn't get paid. So because it's like you said, bro. Like if you're just not gonna get paid, well then it's just not gonna leave the studio, and that feels dirty. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like we all want to make music, right? And we collaborated on this together. You should have your product.
It's the principle of it. It's
Exactly.
the principle of the fact that this is what it's a little bit different if, like, let's say you just saw somebody who like has a small setup, doesn't do music, but when you see a page like mine, a page like yours, or a page like some of the other engineers that we're friends with, it's quite apparent that we provide product from our services. It's quite apparent that if you pay us, you're gonna get what you deserve back. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the more disrespectful things that I find is you're gonna look at me and see the camaraderie and the community that I've built and think that I did that by being a skis ball. It's like, nah, man. You know what I mean? And I get it. Well, blah blah blah. But nah, you know, money first, and then you know. So it's like I understand. Like, you wouldn't, you know, just give somebody a bag of cocaine and be like, you know, give me the money when you're done with it.
Hey, man, in that business, they do be doing it on consignment and fronting it. So there's a bad example.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a funny thing.
I'm about to give you an ounce of coke and you go flip that, my boy. That's funny. I don't know. I want to say we've been on this month for a minute.
Okay.
Do anything else you want to touch up before we?
I want to appreciate this man for coming out all the way out here because he knew the 40 minutes would be a good time, you know. It always is. He was gracious, bought me some lunch. He is throwing these events. Have you touch any on that? Have you touch any on that? You got any plans? Because I know you ran a super good event. Talk a little bit about that, but also talk about like what you learned you could do better for the next time.
Yeah. Man, so we recently had an event at the beginning of September, right? The beginning of September. We basically did a block party. We had a couple of food vendors. We had a couple of games outside. We had a live DJ. I had maybe like 30 to 50 plus people go all together though. Like not everybody sitting there all at one point, you know what I mean?
That's still a turnout.
But we had people go out and it kind of rained a little bit. But like what I learned from it is that people don't get upset with that. Like everybody kind of just found some shade real quick and rode out the rain. Whereas before I'd be like, man, if it rains, I gotta cancel. We didn't know it was gonna rain.
Right.
So it rained.
Okay, kind of a blessing lesson right there.
Because I got to see nobody was tripping.
Yeah.
The DJ was great. All the vendors were great. I stopped by and I checked in with them to see if they did decent on sales. You know, because this kind of thing matters to me. If I put something together and I'm asking people to come through with their products, especially if they're food, because we had a couple of food vendors there, especially if it's food.
And I hope they do good.
Yeah,
get future clients off of it.
At least something to make up for the fact that you probably came out and you made some food. I don't want your food going to waste. And you spending money on the inventory, want it to be a good turnout for yourself too, right? So luckily it went good for all of them. Everybody had good feedback. We had some artists performing and the sound was fire. Shout out to Elvin, who's also coincidentally my best friend that we've been doing this since early 2010. So for me, it was like a full circle thing that day, you know, doing something with one of my best friends that I got started music-wise with. And then the promoters that we had out, you know, shout out to Eclectic Company, shout out to Sanctuary Sounds Radio that we collaborated on this with. About 80% of the planning and everything I didn't have to do. So
that's a weight.
Bro, yes, like all I had to do, like I paid for the DJ, so I had the DJ, and then I got like a fridge, a little cooler of water because me personally, if I'm hosting, I feel like I should have something. And bare minimum, I'm gonna have water. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Something to sip on.
For future events, I would like to be also like, hey, this time we're having this food. This time we're having this food.
Oh, cool.
Where like the studio would have paid for it. You know what I mean? Like as things get bigger. But other than that, I mean, I would say it was a great event. Now, as far as other events, because you know I told you about the Monday thing, we were piloting the Monday night mic drop, and it did really well. It did decent with the pilot. I was initially thinking about doing it every week, I don't see that being something that I could just like do for real, for real. So I'm thinking about doing it like once a month, but still offering the same deal that that I was offering for that Monday night mic drop on every Monday. But we have a couple of things that are kind of in the works behind the scenes, so I kind of have to put a pin on that. Just know that, you know, we're working on different events. I want to do a little bit more bigger events. Like me and you were talking about a collaborative event
Where
you'd be running some sessions, and I'm kind of just, I think that would be dope.
Like kind of like it's almost like a pop-up studio session day.
Yeah.
Like come to the event. There's gonna be some kind of cool deal for studio time, and
Some cook-up.
and it's gonna be dedicated to where like I won't be a part of the other event. You know, I'll be solely focusing on the artists that are coming in. It's kind of like, you know, like when they do Friday the 13th tattoos or something. It's gonna be busy, but we're gonna make sure that everything's, you know, dedicated to focused and paying attention to, you know, the needs. And
Hell yeah.
so it'd be dope.
I think that'd be good in general, like so that we can get other producers, engineers to link up as well, because then it could be like, you know, some people come out for you, you run some sessions. Some people come out for this person, they run some sessions.
It takes a village,
and then
it takes a village. So
and then it's fun. And then everybody gets to meet and network and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that's something that I'm doing. I'm also kind of thinking about putting something together for kids. I'm very big on like us just mentoring, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be dope for us to be able to like find, you know, 13-year-old us,
mm-hmm.
and like,
you know, who just
help
have
them
like
do what we do.
who just need to have to help find the motivation and goals and can physically see it. You know, at that age, you know, you want to do things, but unless
Everything
you
feels so far away.
physically see it, you're physically a part of it. You know, at such a young age, that could be such a catapult in life to help out. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's something. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And no, thank you for the hospitality, bro. That's the, you know, I always make a drive for a homie, bro. Especially when we both care and are very passionate about the exact same thing. Because, you know, these conversations, although they can seem boring to a lot of people, you know, we
This
can't
one
have
was
these
easy for
conversations.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no script. Last one, you know, we talked.
And even then, the script from last time was kind of like, I just had the questions on the side
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
But like this one, it feels like we're just having a regular ass conversation, which we really are.
And what's crazy, we've
sharing
talked
some game.
since probably like 10:30 this morning. So it's like,
Yeah, for anybody watching at home, it's about to be 3 p.m. It's like 2:45.
yeah.
So we damn near been talking like 4 or 5 days. It's been a bro date, no cap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this video bro date.
Bro date for the $300 session.
Yeah, bro date, $300 session, $300 getting started in music
bro
industry.
date session.
It has. But I appreciate you guys watching. If y'all watch the whole thing, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, drop us a note. This is the second episode that we do together. Personally, I see us doing more just because we're both engineers and we like to talk about this stuff. And from time to time, it's good to kind of nerd out on, you know, like the different thoughts that we have. But y'all let us know if there's anything specific y'all want us to talk about, whether it's music related, whether it's business related, whether it's just chasing your dreams related. We probably got you. Y'all take care.
If you want to know how long I've been growing my dreads, just ask me.
Tap in.
Peace out. Y'all have a good day.